Today on the Transplant Helper, I'm going to be kind of continuing the worst rant I've ever been on. And that's because we're talking once again about some issues I'm having, and I found out hundreds or thousands of others are having as well concerning their insurance, a few changes to their drug coverage, and being able to use the pharmacy that they actually want to use. So go ahead and stay tuned.
Hit the subscribe button and the bell notification to become part of the Transplant Helper community.
Hey folks, welcome back to the Transplant Helper today. My name is Jim Merle, and let's just jump right in. I'm going to be ranting through the whole video, so if you're not a fan of ranting, you might want to go somewhere else, maybe go watch another video or something. But I'm going to be ranting a little bit today as I kind of give you an update on how my situation has been going concerning my drug coverage, insurance, concerning the pharmacies that I want to use versus what I'm having to use now. The whole mail order situation, yeah, you probably saw the other video, so I won't spend much of your time kind of catching you up, but basically it goes back really to what I didn't realize at the time. About 2, maybe 3 months or so ago, I actually received a brand new insurance card in the mail that comes through my wife's workplace concerning drug coverage. Now, we get new insurance cards, the new plastic at least, maybe every 2 or 3 years. I didn't really think anything about that, but I received a new insurance card, tucked it away in my wallet, assumed it was kind of the same old same, just a different color scheme or logo, whatever that happens with these big businesses and companies. So I kind of threw it aside, didn't pay it any attention until last Friday, which would have been somewhere around January the 5th, 6th. I didn't look up the date, but last Friday, I received a call from my favorite pharmacy in the world, UAB Specialty Pharmacy, where I fill all of my important transplant medications. And she told me, she said, Mr. Merle, I've got your order ready to ship out. However, there's been an issue with your insurance. Your current insurance provider does not want to pay for your medications anymore. I didn't even realize there had really been a change again. So I immediately came back to her and said, hey, what's going on? Do you have the right insurance? Yada, yada. We went back and forth. Finally, we came to the conclusion that she had all the right information on her end, but they simply were not going to take it. Now, by the end of that phone call, she went ahead and told me that she knew what they were doing to us. She understood that they're trying to swap us all over to this mail order pharmacy, formerly known as Briova, aka now being called Optimum RX, okay? And I've never heard of such, didn't know what it was. Probably some of you have. If you have, comment in the video comments below, but I'd never heard of such. But I knew one thing then, I did not want to go with a mail order pharmacy. I love UAB, not only because of all the service they give me, all the little extras, all the perks, but mainly because I either had the option of getting my medications in by mail, by courier, or because there's a real store that exists, I can actually drive to the pharmacy, pick up my meds anytime. Okay, so there's just a lot that goes into that. I'll link a video where I talk about that up here, and you can check that out if you'd like. But anyway, she says there's nothing she can do. I know there's nothing she can do, but I'm already beginning to get a little bit anxious about this, to say the least. So I hang up the phone. At that point, thinking to myself, there's no way, no how I'm going to this new company. I'm not going to allow the insurance to force me or to make me go to another company. So I was determined that wasn't going to happen. So I do have a relationship with a local CVS pharmacy, particularly with a couple of their pharmacists, one being named Larry. I pick up the phone, I call Larry, I tell him what's going on. He understands that. I tell him the medications I need. I ask him several questions, including, can you get the medication? Can you get the medication on time and keep it in stock? Can you get the brand name or manufacturer that I use? Just a lot of different things there. And he said, sure, I can take care of it. It's not an issue. I'll go ahead and fill those as soon as you get me a script. So I call my coordinator. She turns around, sends a script down to CVS Pharmacy. Again, not my main choice, but if I can use a local pharmacist that I know, have a relationship with, I think to myself, it's no big deal. So I call my coordinator. She calls in the new prescriptions. I get back in touch with Larry. He said, got the prescriptions. We'll have them filled here in an hour or two. Just come by and pick them up. So I go down to pick up the medications, and I walk in the door, and that's when the pharmacy tech, not Larry, but one of his techs, he was standing in the background. She comes up and she says, well, Mr. Merle, there's actually been an issue here with your insurance as well. We can't take the insurance on your specialty drugs. So if you want to pay cash today, it'll be like $800. And to that, I said, no, I can't do that. I mean, I've been getting my medications through UAB Specialty Pharmacy for years. By the time my insurance pays and this and that, a lot of times on one of them, particularly like Prograf, an extremely important medication, I pay absolutely zero for that because I have 2 insurance. I'll explain later to pick that up. And as far as the Myfortic, generally speaking, I might pay 12, 15 bucks. I can assume at the first of the year until deductibles are met, I'm probably going to be paying a little bit more than that. But, again, no one wants to take this insurance. Their recommendation also at CVS was you may just have to give in and use the pharmacy that this drug coverage Briova / Optimum RX tells you to use. And I don't want to do that. But I'm now down. This all started on Friday. Now it's Monday afternoon late. I'm down to the point where I have really no choice. I've got to get the meds filled. Even if I have to pay cash, I can either pay that cash at UAB, I can pay that cash at CVS. But right now, I was looking at cash. And I knew as far as my checking account goes, I'll just be honest, it's kind of mid-month. That ain't going to happen. So I'm not going to be able to do that, very easily at least. So I decide, I'll just break down. I'm going to have to call these insurance companies. So I pick up the phone. I call Optimum RX, which is, you won't be able to see it, but there's a little logo. Maybe you can see it right there on the card. I call Optimum RX, give them a call. I get online with someone at that point that, I'm not trying to be rude, but when they do not understand what you're saying and you likewise can't understand them, you're already kind of at an uphill battle at that point. And I couldn't even get past, I had to go through a whole automated system. When I finally got to a human, I couldn't even get past giving him my birthday. So I repeat my birthday several times, 3/12/75, and he doesn't seem to get it. He doesn't understand. He repeats it back to me. He's got 3/12/85, just messed it all up. We couldn't communicate. By this time, I'm boiling, okay? This has been going on Friday, worried about it Saturday, Sunday. It's Monday late, and I'm boiling over. So I just did what any great American would do. I hang up the phone. And as soon as I hang up the phone, I realize, you know what? Chances are you're definitely not getting your insurance if you hang up the phone. So I decide I've got to call back. I call back that time. I get a different person, but we communicate just about the same. And I'm not able to communicate with them what I need, what's going on, yada, yada, whatever. I'm extremely, extremely aggravated by that point. So I can't seem to get anywhere with Optimum Briova RX. Finally, after I go through a couple of different transfers and, the long waits we all endure, finally I get someone who I can definitely speak with. They're extremely kind. And she went ahead and told me, she said, well, here's what you got to do, Mr. Merle. You've already got the card, you got the numbers, but we've got to register you in the system so that we can fill your medicine. So I agree to that. I mean, that's understandable. So she takes all my information, name, address, phone number, birthday, social security, everything I could possibly give to her, I gave to her. She fills out all this stuff online for me so that I didn't have to fill it out on paper. She gets it all done and she says, okay, you're ready to fill. I said, all right, who exactly am I going to be able to fill with? Can I send this back to UAB Specialty Pharmacy? No, we don't have a contract with them. Can I send it over to CVS? Well, you can with all your medications except for these 2 specialty medications. So kind of the same thing I've been hearing over and over. I'm extremely getting aggravated, but this lady's been very kind and helpful. I say, well, who in the world can I fill this medication with? She said, well, you've got 2 options. She said, either you can use the Optimum RX pharmacy, or you can use, and I got to read this, something known as SEIB. That's the State Educators Insurance Board or something. Anyway, state employees. That's the State Employee Insurance Board. Or you can use the State Employee Insurance Board pharmacies. Well, while she's telling me this, I'm sitting here at my desk anyway. So I'm typing up some of these things, kind of looking up on Google, and I discover that the Optimum RX pharmacy doesn't really seem to exist. There's not really a located building where that is. It lists locations all over the place, but all of them seem to be kind of a mail order situation, which again, I don't want to do mail order. I want a real pharmacy that I can talk to, someone I can communicate, have a relationship with. And I noticed that the SEIB, the State Employee Insurance Board, they've actually got a couple of locations across the state, and they actually seem to have a physical pharmacy that I can call. So I said, hey, I tell you what I'm going to do. I don't like the idea that I'm kind of being, pigeonholed or pushed into a corner about this. I'd rather use my preferred pharmacies, but since it doesn't seem like I'm going to be able to do that, let me go ahead and call these folks down in Montgomery, which Montgomery for us is about 2 hours away. This is the SEIB. I call the SEIB pharmacy, Actually, someone who answers the phone tells me their name. They tell me they're one of the pharmacists. So I think, wow, I'm really making tremendous progress here. Very, very nice lady. Of course, we're talking, communicating very smoothly at this point. She said, I'm so sorry for what you've been dealing with. She sympathizes by telling me, you know what, we're kind of going through the same thing because we're state employees. We just got the hammer dropped on us and all of our insurance got changed as well. And so she told me, she said, I happen to fill all of my prescriptions over at the local Walgreens near my house, but I can't even do that anymore because I got to fill with us. Well, while she's doing all this talking, I'm kind of going into that very aggravated, blurry Twilight Zone kind of a feeling. And it hits me right there. I said, there's something really, really peculiar about this whole situation. First of all, the name on my insurance card is that Optimum RX. Second, I'm actually talking to a pharmacy which calls itself a version of Optimum RX. And I'm saying, hold up. How can this be on the up and up? How can this be good if the name of the insurance is the same name as the pharmacy? They're definitely in cahoots with one another. They're definitely got some ties in what I would consider almost organized crime, because it's a crime when you don't give a guy his medication when he needs it, or anyone. But it's really sounds pretty rigged right now. I'm talking to a pharmacy that has the same brand name as the insurance card. And they're telling me again, she's telling me, yeah, they're right. You can only fill with this pharmacy or that pharmacy. She names the same old two, the Optum RX or the SEIB. It's hard for me to say that. The State Employee Insurance Board. She said, you can either fill with us. We're kind of both of those. But, I'd be happy to fill your medications. She pulls me up in the computer, says, I see that you're already registered. You're already, everything's already ready to go. So tell me the medications you need. I told her the 2 medications I need. She said, all right, if you can get us a prescription sent over, we'll be happy to fill those. I said, that's not a problem. That'll be wonderful. I'd be happy for you to fill them. She goes ahead and starts kind of, tentatively putting that in, because I asked her, how much will these medications be if you fill them? She's looking for that. And she comes back and she said, let me ask you, when do you need to pick these up? You running low? How are you doing on this? I said, technically, I'm like 2 days from running out now because I've been dealing with this for several days. She said, well, if you would like to pick them up tomorrow, that would be fine. And that's when it caught me. Pick up? What does she mean pick up? I asked her, I said, why, how can I pick these up? I'm in my small town. You're in Montgomery, Alabama. We're 2 hours plus-ish, depending on traffic, 2+ hours apart. I can't pick these medicines up. Can you just mail them? She said, oh, I'm so sorry. She said, we don't do mail order here. She said, you'll have to talk to the Optimum RX mail order service in order to get this medications. So I said, well, do you have a number for that? Well, she didn't, but I'm on Google. I'm searching. Lo and behold, the same number shows up on Google that I had just got off the phone with, where I couldn't communicate with anybody. So I'm dreading this now. She apologizes again. She empathizes, says, we're in the same boat. I'm as mad as you are. Every state employee is dealing with this. It's just a mess. So I get off with her. I know I'm talking too long, but some of you love to some of you love to feel my pain, I guess. Maybe, I hope. So I go ahead. I don't have any choice. I call up this 800-ish number, whatever it was again, and I get someone on the line that I can barely communicate with. Now, I've had some I can communicate with, some I absolutely cannot. This is barely. This is right in the middle. Get someone I can barely communicate with, and I tell them, I say, look, I need my medication filled. I'm fed up at that point with anybody. I need my medication filled. I need it filled today. I need to be able to pick it up somewhere. If I can't do that, I need it overnighted to my house. I just need my medicine. So the person, they agree that they'll be happy to do that. And then they say, can you get these prescriptions to us? I said, sure. I'll call my coordinator. I'll get prescriptions sent to you. We'll get this handled. Now, I've already had them at UAB, called the coordinator, got all the prescriptions sent over to CVS. Now, I turn around and I've got to call my coordinator again, get all new prescriptions sent over to this Optimum RX online and who knows where in the world to get them filled. So I start taking that information. When I call, who do they need to send it to? Do they need to fax it? Do they need to do it electronically? Do they need to pick up the phone and call? How do they need to do this? And they basically tell me, just get the prescriptions, we'll get them filled. I said, well, I'm going to tell you up front, I will be calling back within like 10 minutes because I've got to stay on top of this. I got to, I got to know the status. That's fine. Call back if you want to call back. Hang up, call the coordinator. Can you please send my prescriptions over to Briovia/Optimum RX? Here's the information. I said, can you please call them, get them on the phone so that we're sure this happens? I'm going to be calling back anyway to them. Sure, fine, no problem. I'll take care of you, Mr. Merle. They're absolutely wonderful. My coordinator's off on vacation, so hi, Connie. Hope you enjoyed your vacation. Caitlin is helping me. Caitlin, you are totally awesome. So Caitlin decides she'd handle it. So she calls. In a minute, she calls back. She said, Mr. Merle, I want to let you know I got them called in. They say they're going to fill the prescriptions. I said, that's wonderful. That's great. That's good. That's fine. I then turn around, call that insurance number back again, get someone else who is kind of in that barely Englishy, barely communicate realm of things. I call them, say, look, here's the situation. I need my medications. I need them shipped out immediately. You have prescriptions now. I know for a fact. They look it up in the system and say, yeah, we got prescriptions for your Prograf, also for your Myfortic. I said, that's what I need. That's it. I'm almost excited for the first time now because someone seemingly is about to fill my medication. And then this happens. Then they turn and say, oh, we have a problem. They say, we'll be happy to ship out your Myfortic. We can have that shipped out this afternoon. You'll get it overnight at FedEx tomorrow. They're happy to do that. But on the Prograf, we cannot fill it because it's just been filled. And I think to myself, do what? No, it has not been filled. I'm looking at the bottle. It's been over a month now. I've got like 2 pills left. So this is the last time I'm going to be able to take it that evening. No. It hadn't been filled. Oh, yes, it's been filled. So we start backtracking, and finally they tell me, says it seems like it's been filled at CVS. I said, oh, I get it. Yeah. They actually fill the medications, but when I went in and did my insurance wouldn't cover it, I just told them I didn't need them. I'm assuming they put them back on the shelf. He said, well, the thing is, if they haven't actually taken it out of their system, it's showing up that you just filled them, so we can't fill them. I said, yeah, but you got a new prescription. Caitlin called in a brand new prescription. Just use hers. No, we can't do that. It still comes up as a duplicate in the system. We can't fill. I said, well, what do I do? I've got to have the medication. I'm begging you, please, I got to have the medication. What can I do? The reply basically was, well, you need to contact CVS, ask CVS to transfer the prescription over to us so that we can go ahead and get this processed. We'll have to run that prescription on us so that it shows up that they didn't fill it and we are. Now, this doesn't amount to nothing to me. I don't understand what's going on. I'm still extremely aggravated, but I've learned a long time ago, you'll get better, you'll get further with kindness than meanness. And I've got both available, kindness and meanness. I'm ready to pop on either one. So I push forward. I use kindness. I said, well, thank you. I'll get this straightened out. I'll get in touch with them. Will not be a problem. So I turn around and I pick up the phone to call CVS back to get them to send the scripts over to this Optimum RX mail order from who knows where. And I call, and there's no answer. So I said, okay, they're 15 minutes away. I'll drive down to CVS. I'll see them in person. Maybe they're wrapped up, busy. Maybe the phones are messed up. We've had some bad weather lately. So I'll just drive down there and ask them in person to go ahead and send this over. Won't be a problem. I drive the 15 minutes down to CVS Pharmacy, walk in the door. No more than I get in the door, the lady kind of standing there that said, hey, good morning, whatever, or good afternoon. She looks at me and says, are you by chance going to the pharmacy? I said, yeah, I got to go to the pharmacy. She said, you can't. She said, our pharmacist passed out earlier today, had to be taken away, to the hospital, whatever. And so the pharmacy's closed. I said, yeah, but all I need is a tech. If the tech can transfer my prescription to this other pharmacy, that's all I need. It's no big. No, she said, I'm sorry. As long as the pharmacist is not in the pharmacy, none of the techs can work. So it's closed. Nobody's here. You'll have to check back in a few hours. We're hoping we can get another pharmacist in here to kind of cover. So, oh my word. Now I'm looking at my watch by now, and it's getting to be definitely afternoon, more like almost later afternoon. And I'm realizing the clock is running out fast on this. I can't get them filled at my specialty pharmacy. I can't get them filled at CVS, even if I wanted to pay cash right now because they're closed. I can't get them filled at the Montgomery office physical store because they don't do mail order. And now I can't even get them filled with a mail order and who knows where because I don't have the prescription cleaned out or cleared yet. So I'm explosive aggravated now, but I turn around, it's not CVS's fault. I get back in the car and I come home. And all I can do is mull over it then. All I can do is dig and do research and fight. And by now, I've got people who have seen my other video. They're constantly messaging me, what's going on? It's happening to me. I'm dealing with the same thing. One lady said, do you by chance have state employee insurance? I said, yeah, I do through my wife. Oh, I'm dealing with the same thing. A lot of people are hitting this wall. It's January. And so if there's going to be any insurance changes or problems, they're going to come up in January. So I go through all of that and I'm like, I just don't know what to do. I don't know how to pull this off. I sat around the house for maybe 2, 3, 4 hours, whatever it was, worrying about that. Finally, I decided I'm just going to go back to CVS, pray that the pharmacies, they've got a substitute in there, a fill-in, whatever. I go into the CVS, lo and behold, thank you, Larry is standing there. And I say, look, here's what I need to do. I need to transfer these prescriptions over to Optimum RX, the mail order side of things. Here's the number, here's the information. And they look me in the eye and say, I'm sorry, we can't do that. I said, wait a minute, you can't do it. No, the pharmacy that you're going to be filling with has to call us and get the script. We can't call them. They got to call us. And I'm thinking the chances of that happening are zero because I've got to now get on the phone, go through the automated system, set on hold forever, get someone I can barely communicate with, try to convince them to do that, which they've already told me they're not doing it. They want CVS to call them. I got to convince them to call CVS to even get this prescription transferred. This is blowing up in my face bad, folks. Bad. Now I have I can't fill it at UAB. I can't fill it at CVS. I can't fill it with Optimum. I can't fill it with Brivia. I can't fill it with the State Educators Insurance Board. I'm hung, folks. I'm hung out to dry, it looks like. And then finally, one of the pharmacy techs speaks up and she says, let's try this. She said, let's go ahead and put this medication on hold, which means basically put it on the shelf. It'll show up in the system that it has not been filled, and then maybe they will fill it. So I say, that sounds like a plan to me. So I immediately get in the car. I start heading back home. I call Optimum RX. I tell them what's happened, and they start looking in. They say, oh, no problem. We'll fill both of your medications right now. They'll be ready tomorrow. We'll ship them out to you same day air. I had done it. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, late, and it's finally accomplished. Now, at the end of the day, I still want UAB back. I want UAB Specialty Pharmacy back. It makes no sense to me that no other pharmacy seemingly can fill my specialty drugs except for the one that is owned by the insurance company. Doesn't make any sense. They got the same name, folks, but they are the only ones who can fill it, so they claim. I don't like that, but I had to eat some words. Seems to me now I'm using mail order. Seems to me now I'm using exactly the same pharmacy that my insurance told me to use. Am I hurt by that? Yeah, I'm hurt. Do I feel like I lost in this battle? No, I guess not really. As a matter of fact, it took me a day or two to sit down and film this video. Thought I had them right here. I got all my medications in. They're here. They're actually pretty affordable. I guess it's over for now. I guess I win. Long story short, what am I saying? I'm saying me, Jim Merle, the transplant helper, I definitely feel you folks. All of you who are watching. You. If you're going through this, we just got to unite and fight. I mean, I don't know what has happened with our whole insurance situation, with our whole pharmaceutical industry. And this goes to hospitals too. The same thing could occur with a hospital. You could get to your favorite hospital one day, walk in the door, and they suddenly don't take your insurance anymore. I don't know what's happening, But I know whatever it is, it's got to stop. Folks, we live in the United States of America, a nation that is considered a nation of freedom, of having rights, of having choice, of having options when it comes to our medical care. And we need to have those options. We need to have something put into place, something done in this country that will allow us to just very simply, very easily, to go to the doctor we prefer, to get the medication from whatever pharmacy we prefer to use, to even make choices in what insurance we have. I don't know. We need choices in this matter. We need the ability for someone to stand up and to stand together with us and to make things better, because they're getting worse. They're getting definitely worse. And even in my situation, I actually now have two insurance companies. I've got the one that comes to my wife's, her insurance at work, this newfangled stuff. I've actually got Medicare, which in this situation can't pay because they're not primary. It's just awful the way this is working. And as a side note, I just remembered I actually had someone reach out to me that's going through exactly the same issue. She said she got a hold of the actual book from Optimum RX and says these medications are not listed as specialty meds. So I should have been able to fill them anywhere. But I'm not. Why? Because this country, as far as health coverage goes, as far as the pharmaceutical industry goes, it's awful. It's pitiful and needs fixing. So what can we do about it? We can unite together. We can start the fight. We can initiate to stand up, hopefully one day, to get these things back the way they ought to be, which is to be fair and equal for everyone. I know this video has probably been the longest video I've ever filmed, and if you stuck around in the end, thank you for doing that. Comment below and say drug problems. Just write the word drug problem, and I'll know you made it to the end, and you'll be my hero for that. I apologize for it running long, but I just want to share my story. I want to hear your stories, because I know many of you are dealing with this. It's just a mess. Thank you so much for joining me today, and until next time, stay stronger, friends.